Good evening and welcome back to the Daily Bulletin of Into Vietnam. In the next 10 minutes, you'll be updated on the business events here in the country. Our top stories. VITV raises Vietnam 2014 GDP growth outlook to 5.6%. ANZ reports Vietnam consumer confidence slides in December. Local firms to make 144 Samsung components. In its update reported on Asian economies, ADB revised Vietnam GDP growth to 5.6% in 2014 and 5.8% in 2015, which are 0.1 percentage point higher than its previous forecast in September. In its report, ADB forecasts the Asian economy will rise to reach 6.1% in 2014 and slightly increase by 6.2% in 2015. In particular, Vietnam's economic growth prospect is expected to be at 5.6% and 5.8% in 2014 and 2015 respectively, according to Asian Development. Earlier, in Asia Prospect Report published in September, ADB forecasts Vietnam grew just 5.5% this year and 5.7% in 2015. ANZ Roy Morgan Vietnam consumer confidence has fallen to 135.6, down 5.3 points in December, and is slightly above the 2014 average of 133.3. This month's decrease in the Vietnam consumer confidence was primarily driven by a fall in confidence about economic conditions in Vietnam over the next 12 months and the next 5 years. Overseas remittances to Vietnam are estimated to hit $12 billion in 2014, quoting sources from the Central Institute for Economic Management. The figure would be equivalent of 8% of the country's gross domestic product GDP and place Vietnam on World Bank's list of the world's top 10 overseas remittance recipients in 2014. As recent survey by CM, about 35% of Vietnam's overseas remittances was used for daily expenses, 16% for business purposes, and the rest are spent on things like shopping, paying debts, and covering fees of healthcare services. The Ministry of Industry and Trade has announced a list of 144 parts which will be produced by local suppliers in partnership with Samsung Electronics Vietnam. This is the first time MOIT published a detailed list of the parts on its website. This decision to publicize the list is aimed to encourage the participation of partners, both Vietnamese and foreign direct invested enterprises, which could meet Samsung's requirements. This would be a great opportunity for partnering Taiwan provinces and other localities to develop the supporting industry, as the sector's projects have been mostly implemented by the FDI. The Southern Province of Vinh Xuân yesterday said it has attracted foreign direct investment of over $1.65 billion this year, 65% higher than targeted in the beginning. It ranks third among provinces and cities in attracting FDI this year, after Taiwan and Ho Chi Minh City. Lê Thanh Cung, chairman of its People's Committee, said the achievement has been greatly appreciated since the province has to face many difficulties in 2014, especially the riots in May. The strong FDI flows have made Vinh Xuân one of just 5 provinces and cities to have attracted total foreign investment of over 20 billion. The President has agreed on providing capital for the Vietnam Development Bank VITV and Vietnam Bank for Social Policy VPSP. The Ministry of Finance subsidizes 11.6 trillion dong from the state budgets to compensate the insufficient interest rate difference and the management fee till the end of 2013 for the two banks. In detail, Vietnam Development Bank received 8.4 trillion dong and Vietnam Bank for Social Policy received 3.2 trillion dong. 12 is the number of newly listed shares on SSX and SNX from the beginning of the year. 25 is the number of businesses had to delist in the first half of 2014. 50 is the number of businesses fixing the risk of requiring to get delisted since loss and disclosure violations. While the market witnessed a growth of more than 100 points in the last year, number of delisted firms are even higher than newly listed ones. Regardless of the profitable result, companies such as Mingfu Fisheries still left the stock market. Obviously, the stock market is really not a playground where everyone wants to participate.
Nhiều đầu tư lên sàn họ sợ rằng là doanh nghiệp họ tốt, nhưng mà có thể là nhà đầu tư sẽ định giá sai và gây ảnh hưởng đến uy tín của doanh nghiệp. Đơn cử có những công ty là lên sàn rồi và họ còn muốn rút khỏi sàn, như là trường hợp MBC Tô Minh Phú đợt vừa rồi là họ rất ngại cái việc là trên sàn, bởi vì trên sàn giá cổ phiếu nó không được như kỳ vọng. Thứ hai là nhà đầu tư nước ngoài họ nhìn vào, họ là doanh nghiệp xuất khẩu tôm, họ nhìn vào thì họ đánh giá là chẳng hạn như trường hợp của MBC là nó bị ảnh hưởng đến cái việc thỏa thuận hợp đồng giữa bên doanh nghiệp với nhà đầu tư nước ngoài.
Thực ra thì cái động thái mà rút khỏi sàn niêm yết thì mỗi doanh nghiệp có một cái đặc thù khác nhau. Không chỉ riêng với các cái doanh nghiệp làm ăn thua lỗ và phải tiến hành hủy niêm yết bắt buộc, thì nhiều các cái doanh nghiệp có động thái là xin rút khỏi niêm yết liên quan đến các cái yếu tố về việc là cổ đông chiến lược, hay là như các cái yếu tố liên quan đến cái việc là họ cái việc quản lý của họ đối với cổ đông thì là họ sẽ dành nhiều thời gian hơn cho cái việc quản lý đấy chẳng hạn.
Being listed, businesses have to regularly spread information, especially after HOSE and SNX established new listing regulation with several sub-conditions valid from early of 2014. Profitable businesses are quite cooperative with information transparency, but unprofitable ones are uncomfortable with it.
Còn niêm yết trên sàn thì rõ ràng là khi mà niêm yết trên sàn thì cái đòi hỏi về mặt công bố thông tin chắc chắn là sẽ phải quyết liệt hơn và thực hiện một cách nó gọi có hệ thống, nghĩa là qua mỗi kỳ mỗi quý là đều phải công bố thông tin. Thì rõ ràng đây là từ trước đến nay đây luôn luôn là một lý do mà khiến cho rất nhiều doanh nghiệp chưa muốn niêm yết.
That is not to mention, becoming listed definitely divides the power and the interest of the beneficial stockholders group. Therefore, their leadership roles are affected. USOEs such as Volcarimac, Vinatex or Sasco are typical examples. No one wants the paradox newly listed stocks are scarce despite of growing markets to persist, but it's very difficult to make businesses unfair of being listed in the current condition. And before we go, let's take a quick review on today's local gold prices, foreign exchange rate and stock markets. It's the end of the series. Thank you so much for your time and to join us this time tomorrow. Goodbye.